Maybe not the most exciting video I just gave you, but hopefully informative. Heyo guys, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. I'm gonna be straight with y'all. This week, honestly for a while now, I've been in a massive book slump. And when I say massive, I mean like, I don't even really want to look at books. I'm in such a weird funk that I just, like I can't mentally think about it, and I don't want to read, but I need to make content. So I figured I'm gonna do something for you fellow booktubers here, or people who want to start a booktube, which, heyo, heck yeah, you should. Fully support you. You're gonna do great, babe. But for those of you who are always worried about what do I do as content when I have a book slump, because they can go on for a week, they could be a couple days, they could be months, maybe years, I don't know, but I put together a bunch of ideas that are great to do when you're in a book slump. So it's things that don't require you to read, just things that you can talk about that are still bookish related. All right. And honestly, the ones that I have on here, I'll put like something on the screen if you can do multiple things with them. I have 35 separate ideas, but a lot of them you can do multiple videos on this topic. So you actually have more than a year's worth of content if you're someone who posts once a week. So I have a lot of options here. Some of these may work for you. Some of these you might be like, nah, that's not me. But here's the list. I will include it down below in the table of not the table of contents, the description bar, if you just want to like copy and paste it. But I'll give you some details of what each of these are. Sorry, I had to turn on the light. We have a tornado warning, oddly enough, in Massachusetts, and it's getting weirdly dark. Anyways, the ideas. The first topic is essentially doing what I'm doing right now, which is just listing out a bunch of different topics for people to use on Booktube or Instagram or TikTok for when they're in a book slump. So you're just giving people content ideas, what they can do that don't require them to read books. The second idea here is this one. You could do multiples of this if you wanted, but it's essentially just new releases. So not upcoming books, but books that have recently come out. And this can be done in a multitude of different ways. You can do it by genres. You could do it by spice ratings, ones that have no spice, ones that are high spice, ones that are fantasy, ones that are romance. You could get into all the subgenres of romance, ones that are indie authors, ones that are published authors, things like that. You can do a ton of different videos based off of just new releases. Now, the third idea is very similar, but it's essentially your upcoming books. So these are books that are not quite released yet. You'll give people the dates of when they're going to be coming out and where they can find them. If it's a published author, obviously bookstores. But if you're doing more of like a Kindle related video, then you're going to have it based off of the dates it comes out on Kindle. And again, multitude of different videos, genres, spice levels, whatever it might be. Okay. The fourth idea here is what? Oh, just finding books. So I do this all the time. This actually was one of my more like successful videos, really, but it's just kind of books that I haven't even read. I just looked up the synopsis and it sounds like a cool idea, but I haven't read it yet. And I'm presenting it to people. I'm basically telling them the synopsis. I personally don't read off the back of the book. That's just not how I like to do it. I'm kind of emotive, if you can't tell. So I just like to read the synopsis, and then I'm basically giving a synopsis of the synopsis. And that's it. But these can be books that are already out. You just haven't read them, but they sound cool to you. Okay? And again, multitude of different things, especially like genres, fairy tales, fantasy, romance, gothic, all the different spice levels again. So you'll see that that comes up a lot. You can do a lot of different things with these videos. Next is ranking book covers. So if you're just like kind of in a mood where you don't even want to like read about books, but you just want to take the visual imagery, it could be ones that you have already read. They can be ones that have recently come out or up and coming. You could compare different styles, different decades, like let's say we're doing historical romance. Let's compare the 1980s, 90s, early 2000s, and the 2010s, things like that. And you can kind of like compare them and rank them and do things along that level. You can also rank book characters. So this will require you to have read the books already, but this is just going to be books that you have already done, not ones you need to read right now, not ones you need to try to force feed yourself while you're in your slump. You know, just ones that you remember that made a very like good impression on you, or maybe a bad impression. They were impressionable in some way. All right, next one, book tags. Multitude of these. There's an endless supply of book tags, already existing ones, so you don't even really need to think about it, or you can create your own book tags too. that's always a fun idea as well. Next, talk about a topic. So I've done this before. Again, another multitude one. So I've talked about it where it was like a beginner's guide, which is something you can also do, which that's kind of a new idea that I'd even put down here. But you're talking about some topic, whether you're creating like a beginner's guide, or if you want to talk about like spice in the romance industry, like whether it's destroying somebody's mind or not. You can probably tell how I feel about that. Or you can just talk about like a genre in general. Things along that line, but some form of a topic. It could also be something that's happening in the community. You can do a yearly wrap up or a yearly like ranking of the books that you have already read. You could also do this like seasonally if you want to do like your winter, your spring, your summer, and your fall books that you read and you want to rank them. You can do reading journal spreads. This one, you'll be able to do many with that. You could do book shopping with me. So you know how you'll see like people will go to a bookstore, or you can go to the library with me, or the free little library, or the thrift store to get books. Whatever it might be, you can just do like a book shop with me. The next is like a mid-year freakout tag. Now obviously this is going to require, if your slump is somewhere in the mid-year, it's just another idea to keep in mind. Gifts for readers. This is always good to have around the holidays. Make sure you give people enough time to actually see that video. So I would post it like early mid-November-ish. But gift ideas for readers. You can do a bookshelf tour or a book reorganization tour for your bookshelves. You can do a get rid of books with me. So whether you actually want to go sell them or you're going to go donate them, this is a good one to kind of show what books you want to get rid of. And again, it's almost like a bookshelf reorganization in the midst of all that. Talking about book community drama. So maybe there's stuff going on with a specific audio voice actor. That was recent. Or it could be something just with authors in general and how they're acting and behaving badly, things like that. Or something that could be really, really great. You know, it's up to you on how you want to do it, but book community drama. Updates on coming readathons. People really appreciate these. So if you could do, like, you could even make this monthly, but you're updating and you're letting everybody know what readathons are going on within the community. That's actually really awesome to have. Do a Bookslump vlog. So not what I'm doing right now, which this is dark. Hold please, that's better. Sorry. It's like I said, it's getting freakishly dark. Potential tornado. Which will freak me out if that actually happens. But anyways, where was I? Bookslump vlog. Yeah, so not what I'm doing right now, where I'm giving you content ideas if you're in a book slump. This would just be like a day in my life or a week in my life sort of vlog, where it can be anything that you're doing. Maybe you're trying to get out of your book slump, or maybe you're just letting it happen and you're just working on other things. Just a vlog. It's really just kind of like a week in my life sort of thing. The next one is reading 1-star reviews of your favorite books. You could do multiples of those depending on how much of an avid reader you have been in the past. You can also do reading 5-star reviews of the worst books you have ever read in your life. Again, those could be potentially be multiple videos depending on how much you've read in your past. The next one is doing a reread, rewrite, and burn. I recently did this video. It was actually a lot of fun. I highly recommend it even if you're not in a slump. But you just take a bunch of books, and they could even be ones you haven't read yet, but you just know a lot from the community. For instance, I have never read Lord of the Rings. I technically haven't read Pride and Prejudice. I started it, but I haven't actually finished it. But those books were actually in my reread, rewrite, burn because they're just iconic. You know? So you can do things like that. Doing bookish knickknacks. So if you're a creative person and you want to make knickknacks, you can do that. Or if you just have a bunch of bookish knickknacks on your bookshelf, then you can highlight those. The next one, if you're someone who likes to annotate, how you annotate, showing people how to annotate, especially for people who are beginners. Highly recommend using the word beginner's guide. That's a really good SEO word to use, but that's very helpful and people like to see it too. You know? Next one, guess a book by its cover. So essentially, this was an idea that I've had. I don't think I've seen it on Booktube anywhere, but I'm probably going to do this soon. But you just take covers of books, and based off of solely the cover, and obviously the title, you don't get to see the synopsis at all. Guess what the plot is? Just make speculations, you know? So if you're someone who's creative or you kind of have that mindset of creating stories in your head very quickly and easily, I do. My mind carries away with me. I think that could be a fun video. The next one would be TBRs, which I know some of you guys are going to be like, what? technically you don't have to read those books. They're just things that you plan to read. So if you are going to try and get some books, it's okay, obviously, if you don't read everything on your TBR, but you can always post a video of what I'm hoping I will be reading in this next month or this next season, whatever it might be. It doesn't have to be by the month. It could be just like, this winter I'm hoping to get to these books because they kind of have that seasonal vibe. You know, or you're just talking about your physical TBR and just how long your physical TBR is, or how long your digital TBR is, basically showing everybody what books exist inside your Kindle that you haven't read yet, you know, those sorts of shenanigans. The next one is what subscriptions you recommend. So as a reader, in your own personal preference and your experience, what things do you recommend? Do you recommend having Kindle Unlimited? Do you recommend having Libro.fm? Do you recommend using certain audio platforms? Where do you recommend getting your romance books? Things like that. Obviously, something that's kind of tied with that, it's another idea, but doing a Kindle review, if you're someone who has a Kindle, or like an Amazon Fire or the Nook, whatever it might be, doing a review on it so people have an idea if they should buy it or not. Those videos do very, very well. Coming up with a list of conventions. So there's obviously different like book conventions that are going to happen throughout the year and in different areas. So if you come up with a list for that, and then people can prepare, especially if you give them like the dates, if the price of the ticket is already out, also let people know about that. Do another kind of like shop with me video that I mentioned before, but it could be like shop with me online. So like I was a big Kindle Unlimited girly, but because I'm not reading, I don't have KU at the moment. But doing like a shop with me on Kindle Unlimited. So as you're searching through the platform, what books are actually peeking out to you. Things like that. Building my Christmas list with me. So this isn't necessarily, it's very similar, but it's not necessarily the same as like a gift guide, because this is going to be very tailored to the things that you really love and you really like. People are going to have similarities with you. So that could be a fun video too. Talking about bookish controversies, this is kind of very similar to just like the book drama that's going on in the book community. Or you could kind of make this like controversies that are going on in very iconic books. Maybe you want to talk about Tamlin and the fact that so many people think he's a terrible individual and he deserves to burn in hell, while other ones of us feel like he did nothing wrong. Has he made mistakes? Sure, but he was butchered, okay? I know I've said it a lot. He was butchered. I'm moving on, okay? I'm moving on. The next one, react to bookish memes, quotes, reels, whatever it might be. If you just need like a chill whatever day, you need like a quick laugh because your anxiety's high or you're just low for whatever reason, this is a great one, okay? You might not be able to have this be monetized because a lot of people play music in their stuff, but that could be a fun one. The next one, tier ranking books that you've already read. I think I did that actually. I did do that. No, I didn't do that. That was book covers. Yeah, just tier ranking books in general that you've already read. And then the last one that I have is reacting to book to TV adaptations. So Bridgerton, Shadow and Bone, things like that. Lord of the Rings, reacting to things like that. So hopefully this helps. I know that this is kind of a quick video for me, but like I said, I am in a book slump. I'm in a massive book slump. So I put down some ideas and here it is. If you have any questions on them, let me know. Maybe not the most exciting video I just gave you, but hopefully informative. Okay, again, they're all listed down below if you want to like copy and paste them into your notes app or Word doc, whatever it might be, so you can reference it in later times. But again, a lot of these are, you can do multiple videos out of one idea. So if you're slumping hard, reference the list, dude. You can make content. And again, if you're someone who's just starting a Booktube channel and one of your biggest fears is if you get into a book slump and you don't know what to do and that's what's keeping you from starting, babe, nuh-uh. It's not an excuse. I know what you're going through right now. I know you're freaked out. I know you're scared. You're going to be great. That you have ideas now. I've given you the ideas. You go start that channel. Okay. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.